years ago, Rick Pitino led Providence to an unlikely Final Four appearance. Tonight, he returns, this time the leader of a Louisville team with its own championship aspirations. But coming off their third loss in 4 games, the 15th-ranked Cardinals look for a much-needed road win against the Friars next. Welcome to Super Tuesday, presented by KFC. We're at the Dunkin' Donut Center for a Big East Conference matchup between Louisville and Providence. Welcome, everyone, to the capital of the Ocean State. Ryan Burr along with Doris Burke. And Doris, you look at Providence and Louisville. Both got off to great starts to the season. Big East Conference play has been a different story.
Greater sense of urgency, though, for Louisville. They've dropped 2 home games in conference already. A heartbreaker against Notre Dame in double overtime. They had a chance to win both of those, so a little bit more desperate on the Cardinals side.
And both teams calling this a must-win game. Let's get to our one-on-one where both teams have guards that do a little bit of everything.
Well, 2 Ironmen who will play heavy minutes and expect big things from both players. A high ankle sprain has compromised what was a very high-level play for Peyton Siva early. He's at his best when he's explosive around the rim, getting shots for himself or his teammates. And Vincent Council, amongst the Big East leaders in both minutes and points. He's their best playmaker, at times their best shooter. Look for Louisville to stay attached to him tonight.
And we are just about ready for basketball as we take a look at both teams. Chilly night outside, nice and cozy inside the Dunkin' Donut Center. And for Louisville, Doris, you take a look at the lineup, and of course Peyton Siva runs the show with Russ Smith, Chris Smith, Gorky Jang inside with the senior Kyle Kira. For Providence, a lineup change. Gerard Coleman will not play, back. They were thin to begin with. What does this mean for the Friars?
Well, you lose one of your leading scorers, a guy who averages 36 minutes, so you're losing a ton of minutes, a ton of points. Kofani is their best defender, but you're down a ball handler. So tonight will be about Louisville's pressure and Providence's ability to deal with that pressure.
Great look at Ed Cooley in his first year as the head coach of the Friars, 2-time high school player of the year from this very city. He's brought a lot of excitement back to the program, people around town excited. And of course, then there's Rick Pitino for Louisville, 26 years in the business. 25 years ago, he led this very Providence team to the Final Four. Now he looks to get Louisville back, their only coach in basketball, to lead 3 different programs to the Final Four, as we are just about ready for tip. Kofani will jump ball as he is the substitution for Gerard Coleman, who's out with the back pain. Coleman, 15 points a game will be a lot to make up. We're ready for basketball.
The 2-3 zone, and remember, if the ball's entered into the middle of that zone, they will match up out of it.
Providence, because of the injury, very thin. Try to limit possessions. Inside from Council, and it's the freshman Dante Hinton with the first basket of the game.
A season ago, Council led the Big East in assists, and he has completely bought into what Ed Cooley is selling, at least better at the practice habits, and their best player far and away.
Providence does open man-to-man. Might see a little jump because they are thin. 10 on the shot clock for Siva. Penetrates. Chris Smith with 3. Providence comes away. Good start for the Friars. Council's been the player, Doris, that just does everything for this team. We saw him with 3 assists on the opening possession.
That's their best shooter. That was all in his hands. Now, he just passed up the shot, but he's been total struggle shooting in conference for time.
Tough spot. Jumped it up.
Providence operating against his own. Vincent Council calls for the high ball screen, just gets movement along the baseline by one of the outstanding freshmen in the Big East Conference, Dante Hinton. He has been terrific for Ed Cooley.
And Kafani certainly gives the Friars more size inside, but losing Coleman, as you saw in that last turnover, they lose a big-time ball handler. Basketball, the hand, nice pass inside to Jang, who lays it up and in with a three-point opportunity.
Yep. I think Louisville will look to attack inside. Obviously, their struggles have all come in half-court execution. You want to talk about one of the better freshmen in the Big East? Well, Bohannon has been terrific, and they have of late started to go through these two guys. And both Bohannon and Jang have improved, you could say, every single day under Rick Pitino.
And this is the Kyle Kirk there for the rebound, the senior. And Smith hits a three. So a 5-point possession for Louisville.
Yeah, this is not one of Rick Pitino's great shooting teams, but you know what? I think they have the potential to get it going out there.
And more importantly, Doris, it allows them to set up the pressure, which over the years has been the calling card. Council great times again inside the head for the champ. Council to witnesses.
Well, one good shot, but you pass it up to get a better shot. So nice decision by Council. The Providence opening man-to-man, we expect because of the limited numbers. And they were limited numbers before the injury to Coleman. We expect to see a lot more zone tonight.
Jang inside. Double team comes. And he shuffled the feet. So good defense by Providence. Turnover for Louisville. And the first substitution of the game is we expect Lyle Dixon to get some minutes that he isn't really accustomed to with the injury to Coleman.
Well, Dixon has given them a little bit more. He's coming off a game where he has 8 and 4, and he's a good matchup body-wise to Zhang inside.
And in addition to the 15 points a game, Coleman also averaging 35 minutes a game. So a lot of minutes to go around today with Coleman out of the
What do you notice Providence doing? Exactly what Notre Dame did, right? They're going to milk the clock. They're going to try to shorten possessions. Very effective for the Irish. Good steal by Seaver.
Seaver going the other way. One of the best athletes in the Big East, the point guard position, throws it down with 2. Timeout for Coach Cooley. As turnovers we thought could be a key in this game.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And Council has had moments, in particular against St. John's in the first half against Georgetown, where he's just not been solid with the ball. Good anticipation by Siva, a guy who, according to Rick Pitino, when I walked into practice with him this morning, said he believes Siva's about to turn the corner. He's getting healthier by the day. And that explosion that we just saw on the open floor, boy, that's a welcome sight.
And he's listed at 6 foot, Doris, and unless I go a few inches overnight, I'm guessing he's nowhere near 6 feet. But you saw the explosion that he's kind of lacked the last couple of weeks with that ankle injury. He's still able to get to the rim.
You know, it'd be interesting to watch this game play because Siva's decision-making and Council's decision-making have been rocky at patches. You don't expect it from guys who've got that kind of experience. So that'll be interesting to watch.
Once again, Louisville pressure and settle back into the zone. Providence is 2 for 2 from the field. Problem is they've been turning the basketball over.
And they'd like to attack the middle of that zone. They actually are looking for the matchup. I think that's a good thing if they can get some ball screens going.
Shots with 4 on the shot clock. The freshman Henton takes it. And LaDontae Henton is 3 for 3 here.
Yeah, you know what? You want to talk about the toughest kid on this team and the guy who's most likely to mix it up. Not afraid to bang bodies, uses his athleticism to get rebounds. He is a nice-looking young player.
He's a freshman from Lansing, Michigan. Chris Smith jacks the 3. Now Providence looks to run the open court. Great start for the freshman, LaDontae Henton.
Vincent Council is a guy that Providence needs to make great decisions, especially against this zone. They want that high ball screen, and LaDontae Henton hanging around the rim, giving himself a good opportunity. And then Peyton Siva, the 2 experienced guards in Big East play, making plays.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by KFC. Bring something different to the party with KFC sauceless hot wings. Now just 50 cents each. And in part by the Capital One Cup. Learn more and check the standings at CapitalOneCup.com.
A special night at the Dunkin' Donut Center as Rick Pitino returns 25 years after he led the Friars to the Final Four. Ceremony at the half. And, you know, still in these parts, that is one of the great moments in this city's history.
Well, Rick Pitino is revered. He can't come back here without receiving a rousing ovation. And I say this to you, he maximized that group of talent. I was a senior at Providence College, one of the great enduring memories of my career, because that was an overachieving team.
Having a chance to talk to some of the players before the game that have come back for the halftime, expecting some great things. Near turnover once again by Providence, who is still yet to miss a shot. Doors just hanging on to the basketball obviously becomes a huge key with Louisville's pressure.
Well, it's pinched them. I mean, they were in the game against Georgetown, and untimely turnovers and missed free throws killed them.
There's another one. Once again, Siva on the run out. Misses the layup. And they're going to give the ball to Providence. So the Friars fortunate there as Siva once again on a leak out. Easy bucket, blows the bunny.
Well, we were talking to him earlier, and he just does not feel 100% healthy yet. And these are opportunities that historically Louisville fans are unaccustomed to seeing him miss. He likes those sort of going opposite, protecting with his body, sometimes uses a little English around the rim.
Providence 3 field goals, now 4 turnovers.
It's going to be another turnover and a real frustration there by Vincent Council as he goes to throw it. I think he's frustrated about where the pass was placed. And we talked about it. I mean, this game will come down to whether Providence can handle the pressure without Gerard Coleman, somebody who's very good in the open floor with the ball.
Off to a horrible start doing that as Louisville gets the bucket inside and one. This time it's Chris Smith with the bucket, the senior. But it's all coming off the turnovers.
Well, Bohannon, though, I love this guy as a passer. He's got good size. He's very unselfish. You can put him at the high post. In that particular instance, a little bit further out.
Fouls are starting to pile up now for Providence. 3 players with 1 apiece. Kadeem Batts picks up the foul there. And for a team that can really only go 6 or 7 deep, foul trouble, that's one thing that they cannot let happen. Full court pressure once again for the Cardinals. Henton once again for Providence. He now has all 9 points.
Yeah, and he's their best option, to be honest with you, athletically around the rim. He catches it, he's aggressive. The thing I like about Henton best is the closer the game is, the more the kid wants to make plays. You want guys who late want to be in the midst of the action, and that's him.
Doris, he's the only Friar to take a shot. Bohannon for 3. Battle inside.
Well, Providence's ability to handle the pressure, and that if they can get numbers on the opposite end, both teams are better when they're running. Providence in a half court will shorten the clock. But in this instance, he turns the corner to have some numbers advantage, and credit him with his athletic ability to make the catch, because this was not put on the money, it was put behind him. He's a lefty, and he's on the right side of the floor, so nicely done.
They hit each player with a foul there. Wow. Brees Kafani for Providence picks up his 2nd foul, and he will head to Ed Cooley's bench.
I want you to think about something. LaDante Henton had signed a date and only got released when Brian Gregory left. So it's amazing to think about Providence without him this season, and in particular through the first 6 minutes of this game.
4th in the Big East in rebounding. You saw him snatch one out of the air. Providence once again very willing to take the shot clock down to 13. Trying to make something. Henton again. Still the only Friar to attempt a shot. Louisville will look to run. Receive it to the cup. Thompson might be pushed out. Can't hit. Dixon inside, and he goes hard to the net. Check that, Kadeem Batts. head to the free throw line.
I wasn't sure whether he walked or not, Vincent Council. Yeah, I think he might have.
By the shuffled feet. I also saw him extend the elbow.
And instead bounces right there for the follow. I don't know, that's a European step where you cross the body of the defender.
That's a 67% free throw shooter. Woogie Jeng, who is really coming on for the Cardinals, picking up his second personal, Doris.
Yeah, this has been an issue for sure. In the Notre Dame game, he picked up a silly foul early, and he gets a second one, then he has to sit, and this hurts.
Team Buckles replaces Jeng. Third in the Big East in rebounding. And he will head to the bench, almost averaging a double-double. Louisville just raves about how far he's come in a short time.
Well, it's been extraordinary. And to be honest with you, the kid is tremendously intelligent. He's a sponge. He picks things up quickly. And look at this technical foul. Tom Gaffney gets with Pitino.
And Pitino better be careful here. Coming back for the 25th anniversary. That will send one of the best free throw shooters, actually the best, Bryce Cotton, only 91% from the charity stripe. Cotton makes the first. And makes the second as well. I'm guessing, Doris, that he too felt either bats with some contact or maybe arguing Council traveling.
Yeah, you can't argue the foul call. So, I mean, my sense is he's upset that maybe the call wasn't made before.
Providence stays man-to-man.
And I don't think it was a walk. I do think the report about the push-off was an accurate one.
And in the post. High school All-American, no good, and Providence looks to go the other way with a 3-point lead. I think it's almost fortunate for Providence that Louisville sits back in this one. They seem to have so much difficulty when pressured with the basketball.
Well, and I think after watching tape of Notre Dame and knowing that you're down a man in Council, I mean, in Coleman, it's smart to shorten the clock.
Council can't connect on the nifty drive. Louisville back the other way. This time it is Bohannon, the basket and one.
Well, that play is about where he got post-up position, because when he arrived at Louisville, he was trying to post at 7 or 8 feet, and that might work in high school because he could overpower guys. Now they're telling him to post up basically in the middle of the rim. I'm going to tell you the truth. I remember watching Rick's practices at Providence College. And what he would tell his guys is, if you get somebody buried underneath the orange, underneath the rim, you got two options. You're going to score or they're going to foul you. And both in that instance happened.
And then misses on the three-point attempt. And Providence into the fourth quarter with a 1-point lead. That's entry pass. Jackson gets the bucket and one. And we talked about it, Doris. With Coleman out, they're going to have to get contributions from other guys. Great opportunity here for Dixon to get some extended minutes, and it pays off.
Well, not a ton of spacing. It almost looked like Batts puts it in the wrong position. He really should have thrown it to his outside hand. Give Dixon some credit for the ability to catch, and he's scoring against a guy in Keurig that he's got size on.
6'9", 245. He's a junior from Jersey City. 18 of 21 from the free throw line this year. Make it 19 of 22, so he's an excellent free throw shooter.
So you see what Providence is trying to do. They are trying to operate in what is called the pro slot, right? They're trying to operate in the middle of the floor, whether with a high ball screen or high-low action.
Russ Smith into the game for Louisville. He is instant offense. The team's second leading scorer comes off the bench. Buckles loses it. Hinton with the steal. Round the back, can't control, and it's going to be Louisville basketball. The freshman almost came up with a big play there. And the crowd here has to be pleased with Providence carrying a
Georgetown game, and en route to the Verizon Center, Ed Cooley took his players to the Martin Luther King Memorial. It's just reminded them There are many men who sacrificed and came before you to allow you to be in the position you are today.
Buckles inside, can't connect, but is able to get his own rebound. Keurig, haven't said his name much, Doris.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the reality is, without Preston Knowles, everyone's moved up a place in the scouting report. Keurig has been stayed attached to all season.
And nearly a turnover. Providence in control with the ultimate possession. And getting back to that 1948 game, interesting there. Coach Wooden twice turns down the invite to play for the championship until finally they agree to let his African-American freshman play. And just a great story.
To be honest with you, I mean, the 10 titles are great, but in terms of your legacy, this was a great job by our production crew because it's a story I haven't heard, and I want that as part of my legacy. I want that story out there.
And Louisville goes straight man now. They had been sitting back in that 2-3 zone to see if the pressure gives Providence any problems. Pass misses the easy one as well. A couple missed layups for Providence. Rare wild shot. And as we approach the halfway point of the first half, Providence has to be pretty happy where they sit, up 2.
Yeah, I mean, without Vincent Council, guys giving you 15 points a game, above 35 minutes per game. And Coach Cooley calls them the 3 C's. Council, Cotton, and Coleman. Going to start adding Henton to that list, although he just turns it over.
Another turnover now. And Louisville will look to push the other way. Bohannon inside, he's going to pick up the foul. Now this crowd at the dunk, late arriving crowd, but they have filled up the place now and letting the officials know about it as Dixon picks up his second personal.
He is incensed. He thought Bohannon had traveled.
Freshman Bohannon now 0 for 2 from the free throw line. McDonald's All-American's off to a great start to his freshman year. 8.8 points again, 7.5 rebounds. That big body that, as you mentioned, Coach Pitino just wants him to learn how to use it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he just needs repetition in league. That's really it.
Rolls in the second, which allows Louisville to set up their pressure. Cotton breaks. Gets back into the zone. Evan Ware and Russ Smith, 2 reserve guards at the top of that zone. Russ Smith, team's second leading scorer.
If Providence had stopped turning it over, Louisville wouldn't have scored. I mean, 13 of their 15, now maybe 15 of 17 have come off Providence's turnover. You stop making mistakes, and you have a lead in this basketball game.
Russ Smith with the bucket, and Providence just having such difficulty with this pressure. Really only the 2 ball handlers in Council, and he's going to get hit from behind by Kyle Keurig.
Now this is, again, it's now 7 turnovers for 15 of Louisville's 17 points, and Cotton is the guy. I mean, if you do not want this guy handling the basketball, and Louisville knows it, attacks him hard, and it turns into points in the opposite end.
With the kind of pressure that Louisville puts on, Council is your main ball handler. What can Providence do as Match goes hard to the bucket and this time gets the roll?
I gotta be honest with you, hope, because you're gonna keep the ball in Council's hands and you're gonna hope, because it can be scarier than anybody else's at this point.
4 reserves on the floor for Rick Pitino's Cardinals now. The only starter on the floor is the senior Kyle Keurig. This is Kevin Ware, nice pass to Buckles, but he moved his feet that time. And that time Providence got the call. College basketball continues on ESPN with the Thursday night showcase doubleheader. First at 7, Big Ten showdown between Wisconsin and Purdue. And then in the ACC, it's 17th ranked Virginia taking on 6th ranked Duke. Both games also available on ESPN3 and streaming live on WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app. Providence once again to inbound, but having problems.
Even that's a scary proposition. Seba's going to foul Cotton.
You know, Doris, when so many teams, when they get pressure, it's nice every once in a while to have a forward bring it up and kind of give the guards a break. Providence can't do that.
Yeah, and this is a tough one to go against Siva because, first of all, it's a poor handoff by Batch. You're putting him in a tough position. You should get some more space in there.
It should be an automatic 2 now for Providence, as we said. Cotton, one of the premier free throw shooters in the entire country.
Here's the problem for both teams, as you say, they're getting into the bonus early. You don't have a ton of guys on either side who are great breakdown guys. See, most times when you get into the bonus, coaches will change their strategy and say, okay, we're going to run plays for dribble drives. But respectively, Council and Siva are the only 2 guys who can do it, so that's a non-factor in this ballgame.
Providence 7-7 from the cherry stripe. Cotton 4 for 4. We've talked so much about desperation. I'm not sure we're seeing that in either team right now. Still very early on, Doris, but this became enormous for both squads. Currick for 3. And with the 2 personal fouls, gets blocked from the line. Back with the block. Inside, can't miss. He's missed 2 or 3 free throws. Easy buckets inside.
Can't fault how hard he's working.
Cotton is still there. Providence will lift the run. Council. Biggest lead of the game for Providence. It's grown to 6.
Well, to be honest with you, they got a 6-point lead, but both teams have looked horrible. That's the guys on the street.
See the pump fake. Swap shot. Gets the friendly roll. The crowd thought he walked. Made field goal allows the pressure once again, which is just giving Providence all sorts of fits.
Careful where you pick the ball up.
Henton to the bucket. Got off to the quick start, but he's had difficulty finishing last couple trips down. 25th anniversary of a Final Four team. When we come back, was it the greatest coaching staff ever? We'll talk 25th anniversary of Pitino and Providence going to the Final Four. Here they are in the Elite 8 against Georgetown. And this team just really came out of nowhere indoors, as we talked about it. They didn't have a close game for a while.
Well, Billy Donovan, an extraordinary senior season, and I'll tell you this, either their Elite 8 game or the regional final was a close game, Jeff. The Austin Peay game turned out to be the biggest challenge.
And of course, we'll give him an introduction. Why is Jeff Van Gundy sitting between Doris and I? He was a graduate assistant on that Final Four team with Rick Pitino, obviously back in the celebration tonight. But what are your memories from that year?
Well, graduate assistant in name only, because I didn't have time to go to grad classes. He didn't let me. No, but it was the best coaching job I've ever been a part of. And Billy Donovan, to me, in the last 25 years, there's no one who could be more valuable to his team. So those are the 2 things that stand out to me. The incredible job Rick Pitino did, and Billy Donovan just carrying us.
A lot of stories to get to here, but your thoughts early on of the game we're watching?
Well, I think both teams play great zone defense, and both teams are offensively challenged, to say the least.
Turnovers have been such a big key as Council gets a leak out.
Just finishing is a struggle. But give the credit a lot of times to the defense. Both teams, they are tenacious defensively.
They're playing hard, and that's not something you could say about Providence a year ago. They just tried to outscore people with Keno Davis. That was his philosophy. He was a great offensive coach, but you had to get up and score 80 points to win it.
And John, Jeff, with the NBA lockout, you got a chance to do some college games. What was the big difference for you coming into a college arena?
Well, I think the raw emotion of college fans is, certainly the passion is great, particularly when the students are in session. So the environment's just a little bit different. But it's really basketball-wise, I just think the number of players that can score in a college situation, you only have to guard like 2.5 or 3 on some of these teams, where in the NBA, even the least offensive players, you're going to have to guard in some form.
Providence with its biggest lead of the game. Shot clock's at 2. Council shoots and scores. That's a 3. The lead is 4 to 9. Council has 8. Louisville it quickly the other way with the Hannon. And it's going to be Providence basketball.
All right, I got to ask you. You're with Rick Pitino. You're probably 21 or 22 years of age. I mean, I've heard stories about the amount of time, and I was there. I remember seeing you walk out of the locker room at 7 a.m. having looked like you spent the night.
Well, he was, I coached high school for a year, and nice finish. And then I learned so much about coaching. We'll get back to it now.
The crowd stands as one. Vincent Council has taken over the game with 10 points, and the Providence lead has grown now to 11 at 30-19. But, Jeff, let's get back to it. What is Pitino? You've been inside this huddle. His team in desperation now, losing 2 out of 3 in the Big East. What message, what is he saying to these Cardinals?
I can't repeat that on the air, but he's fired every coach and rescinded every scholarship. But the reason he was so good was he was so hard driving, and he expected more of himself than he did even of his team or his coaches. And I'll tell you what, the force of his will is incredible. And I think that's why they were rated so high. I mean, look at that. Herb Sendek, Arizona State, Stu Jackson runs the league, and that's when I had hair.
Yeah, that is not the NBA commercial with you getting one wish on the shooting star. You actually had some follicles back in '87.
Yeah. But I actually had to practice with the team because we had so many injuries, and that was not fun. Guarding Billy Donovan on 2 hours sleep.
Delray Brooks said they gave you a few shots in those games. These Buckles can't hit, and now Providence with Council will look to rush. Council shoots the 3, not close with the air ball. Smith with the leak out the other way. An easy bucket. Providence, Doris, probably would have been smart to take some time off the clock there with the lead. Instead, off the Council air ball, it's an easy bucket for Louisville, which allows them to set up that full court pressure, which is given the Friars fits the entire game.
You know what? They had a little momentum going. I think Vincent Council has had it going a little bit. So he's your best player. You're probably going to live with a couple of those. But when they've gotten into half court, like Notre Dame did against Louisville, they're trying to milk this possession.
That's such a tough decision because they don't have a lot of shot makers. So it's hard to wind it down all the way under 10 and be able to create a quality shot. I didn't really mind his I thought it was a terrible.
Bryce Cotton only 38% from behind the arc, hits the triple as once again Providence playing lights out here in the first half of the dunk. The Hannon created inside the Buckles for the easy bucket. A couple easy ones for the Cardinals in consecutive possessions.
Now this is extraordinary to me because you're down Vincent Council, who's one of your better ball handlers. He's a leak-out guard who can create shots.
Gerard Coleman out.
Gerard Coleman, excuse me. And so they have managed this game. It's one thing that every coach, though Providence is 0-4, it seems like it's an absurd statement. But Ed Cooley has done a tremendous job. And Jeff, I think sometimes that can get lost.
Well, no question. I think you don't judge coaches on just wins or losses because that's so easy. You got to judge them on are they maxing out their talent. He certainly is doing that.
Well, Jeff, pleasure having you with Doris and I, and look forward to the halftime ceremony. Providence playing well, up 10. Back after this. Coach and Andy, look forward to that. Always look forward to the insightful Andy Katz at the half.
I keep saying that Vincent Council is out. I don't know why I keep messing with he and Gerard Coleman. Gerard Coleman is the one that's out. Council has been tremendous, in particular taking over of late. We talked about him being the Iron Man and their best player, a legitimate Big East guard who's got you off the dribble ability. He can make enough shots to keep you steady. And remember, a season ago, he was tremendous late in the game against Louisville in that upset.
Cotton once again to the free throw line. And as we said, the one guy Louisville cannot put at the line is Bryce Cotton. He doesn't miss.
And here's the reality. You have to give some credit also to Providence's defense, and they're just playing so incredibly hard. They're staying attached to the guys they need to. Henton's going to get called for a foul on Keurig here, but Keurig has 2 shot attempts. Remember what I said, everybody for Louisville has moved up a position in the absence of Preston Knowles. So Keurig, think about Kentucky, they never left his side, and everybody else has followed suit in the aftermath of that.
Keurig, a very good free throw shooter as well, 78% on the season. But getting back to your point on Council, you look at his numbers already, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and the 10 points.
Yeah.
Here's a guy working towards a triple-double. I mean, he does everything for Ed Cooley's team. Keurig makes a pair.
You know, and historically in his career, the word that's been most attached to him is talent, but he hasn't always worked as hard as he's needed to.
And Keurig nearly with another steal. You know, it's really amazing that Providence sits here with a 10-point lead when we think of just they have difficulty getting the ball over half court when Louisville's in full court pressure.
Think about how many layups in this. Levante Hinton has missed 4 by himself.
So under 4 to play here, 35-25. Brian Bird, Doris Burke, Dunkin' Donut Center, Providence, Rhode Island. Shot clock's under 10. To 5. Buckles clears. Siva now into the first quarter. Jacks to 3. Badly misses. Henton now. To Council. Great pass inside the pass, but he gets rejected by Buckles. Russ Smith can't hit, and Louisville now missing layups as well. Henton the other way, this time with the right hand. And the lead goes to 12. The freshman with 11. Smith can't hit again. Very quick shots for Louisville girls.
Well, you got a Louisville team that just looks shaken. They look completely shaken, like their confidence is shot, and the crowd again trying to get involved.
And once again, the crowd to their feet. 2:20 to go, 20 on the shot clock. It's back to a 12-point lead. Providence in search of their first Big East victory of the season. Cotton for 3. Pitino wants a timeout as the Friar lead grows to 15.
You can't let your lack of effect on one end, on the offensive end, impact your defense. In an ideal world, this is how Ed Cooley wants to play. So when they get their opportunities in transition, they're going to run. But other than that, they have taken that clock around that 10-second mark, and that's when they start to look for shots. It has been a magnificently managed half for Ed Cooley, down Gerard Coleman, one of their best players.
Council, Cotton, and Henton combining for 33 points here in the first half. Tomorrow night on ESPN2, catch a great doubleheader first at 7. Top-ranked Syracuse go on the road to Villanova. Then at 9, the Texas A&M Aggies visit the Texas Longhorns. Both games also available at ESPN3 and streaming live on WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app. Number 1, Syracuse. Villanova picking up their first win against DePaul.
Well, keep in mind something you said, they keep putting Cotton at the line. This is a guy who was shooting 26% in the 4 Big East games he's played, so his confidence was down. You put him at the free throw line, and now all of a sudden, because he's seen the ball go through the net, that perimeter jump shot's starting to fall.
Good tries to create it. Louisville right now not even drawing iron.
And I think they're going to get Buckles for a weak side rebounding foul against Bats.
And that will walk the other way now for free throws. Coach Pitino contemplated staying out at half for the celebration of the 25th anniversary of the Final Four team, down by 15, potentially more. You have to wonder if he alters that plan. And this is Dixon once again. And you You take a look at
bets on that last thought.
Yeah, no, I have
What's
to believe.
the over/under on
have
it?
to believe he's heading to the locker room. As Providence now 10 for 10, make it 11 for 11 from the charity stripe.
They really everything has gone their way. So if you're Rick Pitino and you do get into that locker room, you say, listen, they're playing about as well as they can play, minus the turnovers.
Good ball movements in Louisville that time around. And once again, unable to knock down a jumper.
And they weren't playing great early in the half. Both teams were playing really, really hard, but trying to finish and do things offensively wasn't pretty early. Providence has just got a little mojo all of a sudden.
And Coach Cooley lifts his hand in the air as to say, we're going to milk this lead and shorten this game. Take as much time as you can.
I'll be honest with you, for young guys, that is not an easy thing, okay? Because the two things Providence has done, they push the pace when they've had the opportunity, but they've also worked the clock. And for young people, that change of pace isn't always an easy thing to manage.
Buckles picks up the personal foul. That will send Kadeem Batts back to the free throw line, where Providence is yet to miss. Now 11 of 12, and that's been a huge part of this game. Points that are tough to come by, getting 11 at the line.
It's called the play-by-play jinx right there.
That's what it's called. Rolls in the second. And Ron Japlay will come in as Dixon heads to the bench for Coach Cooley. What kind of answers does Louisville have? They're down 18 boys.
It almost feels like when things went south for them, two things happened. They started to press a little bit on the offensive end, and their attention to detail on the defensive end went away. They let one end of the floor impact the other.
7-8 run by Providence. Swap shot drives. He may have walked instead. Gets the rebound. Siva spinning underneath. Buckles misses the easy dunk. And Providence, how about that? Council knowing about a 3-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. His team up by 18, possession more important than the basket, than maybe an easy fast break bucket.
I think Ed Cooley basically saying, guys, stay spaced right now. Stay wide, stay spaced.
Do it for the first half here at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. The Providence Friars in search of their first Big East victory of the season, playing their best half of the season. Let's go to the studio. Jonathan Coachman, Andy Katz for the halftime report. Guys. Super Tuesday presented by KFC. Providence. Anniversary of the team that went all the way to the Final Four in 1987. And this team today playing like that team that went to the Final Four, shooting 48% in the first half.
It's been a little bit surprising to see a Louisville team that is #1 in the Big East at field goal percentage defense, holding teams to about 35%. Providence got a little thing working on the offensive end thanks to Vincent Council.
Yeah, up by 18. The only problem for Providence has been handling that Louisville pressure. See if we get more of that in the second half.
Well, you've got a Vincent Council, a Dante Hinton combination that has worked. And Hinton is one of the outstanding freshmen in the conference. He's a little bit undersized, but he uses his athletic ability, gets to around the rim, and he and Vincent Council connecting on multiple times. Think about how many layups he's been. He had about 20 already, and he made all of his chippies around the rim.
Good hands plays brought to you by Allstate as Providence 48% in the first half for a team that has really struggled to put the ball in the basket. That's about as well as they can play. Louisville struggling with confidence. Started the year 13-0. And miss coming out of the locker room as Chris Smith misfires from 3.
15 of Louisville's 25 first half points came off 7 Providence turnovers. One of the things you wonder about when they're not turning them over in full court, will we see more man-to-man defense from Louisville? Providence has one real solid, steady ball handler in Council. And so will they go more man to try to disrupt Cotton and Dante Hinton, guys who are not used to having the ball and using the dip all the time?
The initial answer is no. Providence goes about 6 deep. This zone has also allowed them to rest as they continue to take the shot clock. It's now down to 8 seconds. Council with 2. Does get it off. Air ball, that's a shot clock violation. Ed Cooley has to be thrilled with the way his team played in the first half.
Well, again, I mean, we sort of harped on it the entire first half. Gerard Coleman, 15 points per game, over 35 minutes per game. They are playing without him because of the back injury.
And for 3, can't miss. And it will stay Louisville basketball.
Good communication. John Gaffney clearly looked at Gene Steratore and just, he wasn't sure who that went off of. Good communication.
I talked with Mike Marr at the shoot-around this morning. He said his team's confidence was really shaken after losing 2 or 3 home games to Notre Dame and Georgetown. That was a concern. Kira. And that would be a foul on Peyton Siva. Probably a lucky thing because Cotton had a layup at the other end.
To your point, I mean, both against Georgetown and certainly against Notre Dame. I just watched the tape of the Notre Dame game this morning, and they had opportunities. They had the lead. Peyton Siva made a poor decision down the stretch of regulation. All he had to do was pull it out, work clock. They win that basketball game. So when you lose close ones like that, especially in your home floor where you're accustomed to winning, that can take its toll. And it appeared to me in the first half that their confidence was not as high as it could be, or perhaps will be.
Receiving Council, 2 Ironmen that play a lot of minutes. Cotton. Bryce Cotton right now playing the game of the season, especially in the Big East. He's shooting the ball lights out.
Yeah, he got off to a great start. He was averaging upward of 13 points. Once he hit conference play, that went down to about 8, and they were getting him great shots. Now he's just finally making those shots.
He's got 15. See the nice pass inside by Hannon. Off the glass and good.
You don't get it all back. If you continue to chip away.
And I believe that will be Peyton Siva's 4th personal foul, which has become a storyline of its own. That is, he's got 2 points indoors. He now has 4.
Wow. And he's got to recognize poor decisions don't always come on the offensive end of the floor. Let's see, does he get there? Oh, I thought it was a good call. Looked like a block to me.
And with 3 fouls, it's a chance you can't take.
That's exactly right. You don't put yourself in that position.
And now Louisville, down 19, will have to chip away without their floor leader. Another Providence turnover, and Baps will pick up the foul.
Cooley going to pull Vincent Council over. Talk about making that pass. Know your personnel. He's saying, think, Vincent, we're managing this. If we're not getting an easy opportunity, uncontested layup, we're milking clock. I said this, and I said this to start the basketball game. Vincent Council is working harder. So to a certain extent, he's bought in to Ed Cooley. He's got to buy in all the way.
Ruby Jen can't hit. And now Providence, up 19, looks to push the other way. Council draws the foul on Ware. Doris, I'm wondering if there's a side story here with Russ Smith. Team's 2nd leading scorer. When Siva picks up his 4th, it's not Smith into the game. I know he's not a true point guard, but what does Louisville need here?
Well, you think about the real frustration this morning with Russ Smith. When they were working at their shoot-around, Coach Pitino was very upset with his lack of attention to detail in terms of his defensive effort. He made a couple mistakes, and Coach Pitino called him out twice this morning at shoot-around. I don't know that that's it, but it's certainly not going to win you any points or any time.
There's a guy with 30 against Kentucky. As Council barely hits iron, hitting the offensive rebound. And Providence is just faster to the basketball. 3 attempts that possession. And Louisville comes away with it. Kevin Ware with the basketball. Kevin Ware doesn't get a lot of minutes, Doris. The freshman.
He's growing. His minutes in the rotation are starting to grow. And that last shot by Cotton, because he has it going, that was when I thought he could have held up. You had a new clock. And that goes to that delicate balance I was talking about in the first half, Ryan. milking the clock when you want to and pushing the pace when you have easy opportunities.
Snuck it down an 18-footer. Kadeem Batts has got 7. 6'9", 250-pound sophomore. Hannon aggressive here to start the second half.
Well, you know what he reminds me of, and the two freshmen I've talked about, but Hannon and LaDante Hannon, those two guys want to compete. They don't like to lose. They're willing to go all out all the time, and you love that. Now, can Hannon drag the rest of his teammates with him?
And that's what we're looking for, body language in Louisville. Great, looking for someone to say, come on, guys, we lose this game, we're 1-3 in the Big East.
Rick Bozich who was saying it's not yet time to push the panic meter for Louisville, but he sort of said, here's another one, then you start leaning in that direction.
Hannon makes both. He's got 7. He'll leave the game as Jared Swapshire replaces the freshman. Once again, Louisville able to set up their pressure.
Council's got to come back and get it. That's exactly right.
Once again, Louisville retreats to that 2-3 zone, which allows Council to dribble away at the shot clock, dribble away at the game clock with the big lead.
And when they do go, let's see when they get to that middle of the floor, that pro slot area.
Nice passing by Providence, and it ends up with a easy bucket. Council's a magician with the entry pass to the middle. That's not an easy pass to make, and he makes it look easy. Play by Louisville, but John misses the chippy. Break out the other way for Cotton, who lays it up and in. The crowd once again in it. Ed Cooley looks up at the clock to see how far he's away from his first ever Big East win as the head coach of the Friars. Short floater got it. Louisville starting to pick up the tempo on the offensive end.
It's a guy who's got to get shots. I mean, he had 3 attempts in the first half.
Oh! Kadeem Batts throwing it down.
Louisville, too many easy opportunities, and Providence feeling perhaps their first Big East win under Ed Cooley. Easy transition opportunities. The Friars in control. The house is on fire. The 87 Final Four team in the house enjoying what they see.
Game at 21, Doris. Take us inside the play.
Well, Providence waits until this starts to approach 10 seconds. Then they're looking to operate in the pro slot. That means the middle of the floor. And once they get it there, they turn, face, and look for easy opportunities. So their best passer, Vincent Council, gets it to Henton, who can operate at that high post area. The pass wasn't perfect by Henton. That's just a nice job. Basically, pro slots that middle of the floor. So Ed Cooley's team really have navigated that fine line between pushing pace for easy opportunities and then, as you say, resting. You got 5.5 bodies you're working with, and you are outscoring Louisville into paint 15-5 by resting and taking time off the clock.
Kadeem Batts, a guy that started every game for Providence last year, got off to a tough start, suspended the first 11 games, failing obligations of a student athlete, but he's back in the lineup and performing very well tonight. Louisville turnover. And once again, Ed Cooley completely content to run clock. Big East game of his career, he has 20. Louisville's getting blown out of the gym. Another turnover.
This is the work of a team that's completely shaken.
Louisville made it all the way up to number 4 in the polls. Started the season 13-0. Losses came against Kentucky and Georgetown, which you might expect. Dixon can't hit. Jan clears.
Well, you make the move. You got to finish the play.
Wes Smith into the game. we thought we might see more of him with Louisville searching for offense as Cotton picks up his first personal. And Louisville going deep into the bench now. Tim Henderson into the game. Sophomore guard for Rick Pitino's club. Does not get many minutes at all. Get the sense looking for a spark from anywhere.
Looking for a spark or experience some frustration. Just looking at other options at this point.
Down the baseline, jumper cracks that. Henderson shuffling the puppies.
We've talked about it. Right at the top of the telecast, we said this would be about Providence's ability to absorb Louisville's pressure, or Louisville being able to generate offense off of that pressure, because they're tough in the half court. They cannot score.
Heading out of the air. There. He doesn't play much. Dribbles it off his foot. Providence basketball. Tomorrow night on ESPN, catch an NBA doubleheader. First today, the defending champion Mavericks visit the Celtics. Then at 10:30, they each take on the new look Los Angeles Clippers. All starts with Kia NBA Countdown at 7:30. Both games also available at ESPN3, streaming live on WatchESPN.com and Watch ESPN app. Doubleheader of NBA action tomorrow night on ESPN. It's all Providence in the first half, 58-35. We're back after this.
Honestly, you don't like the body language, you don't like the energy coming from this team. And we've talked a lot about Rick Pitino, a guy who maximizes potential and maximizes every bit of talent he's got. I think the most important job he's got right now is to reinvigorate this team with some confidence.
And still sticking to that 2-3 defense. Peyton Siva back on the floor for Louisville with 4 personal fouls. Have to watch how aggressive he plays D. Errant pass, turnover. Cardinals look to turn it into easy points. And do. Chris Smith with the easy bucket. Once again, full court pressure. And you wonder, does Louisville have a run?
You can't get casual with your Providence. And this is a guy you want to attack while he has the ball.
No such thing as a 21-point shot. Have to chip away. Still a lot of time to go. 12-10 to go. And Providence is willing to take the shot clock down, which can be dangerous.
Well, when you only have one guy who can create his own, this guy it can be scary.
Siva very fortunate. He did not pick up his 5th personal with the reach. Timeout on the floor. Does Louisville have a run in them? Down 21 to Providence. We're back after this.
12. What a job Kevin Willard has done. If he wins that basketball game, he's 4-1, one game back to Syracuse.
They'll jump it up, and it will stay here with Providence. Louisville's defensive effort a little bit better, but yeah, you're exactly right. The story in the Big East this year on the plus side, there's a few on the negative, but on the plus side would have to be the Pirates.
Kevin Willard has done an outstanding job. I think the hardest thing sometimes to do is to get buy-in from players that you did not recruit, particularly depending on the nature and personality of that guy. But you've got Jordan Theodore playing at the highest level of his career. Herb Pope has brought in all the credit in the world to Coach Brewer and his staff.
Cotton got it. Bryce Cotton, the sophomore from Tucson, with 23. Providence shooting over 50% in the game now, as he has not missed from behind the arc.
I'll be honest with you now, against Georgetown, if he makes a couple of the shots that he missed, I think at one point he's 1 for 7, and he was getting wide open uncontested shots. It would have been a different outcome.
5 for 5 from 3. Bohannon tries to retaliate and misses, and it will go Providence basketball. Well, it's the perfect storm tonight. Anything Providence does is the right thing to do. They're shooting the ball. They've defended all year. And it's all coming together with a Louisville team that's having difficulty putting the ball in the basket. Clock becoming a bit of a factor here. misses from three, but he'll head to the line for three.
Is that Siva?
And they give it to Peyton Siva. That will be his 5th personal foul as he walks to the bench.
That almost looks like a foul you commit because you don't want to play anymore. I mean, let's just see, because you know, you talked about the 4th foul being you don't put yourself in a position. Now this is a closeout, but that you're too old to make that mistake.
Not with 4. You can't do that with 4 personals, that is for sure. And Peyton Siva will spend the rest of this game on the bench. 2 points, he is fouled out, and the story of Bryce Cotton continues to grow. 5 for 5 from behind the arc. We've already told you he's one of the elite free throw shooters in America. He's yet to miss from the foul line today. Perfect 6 for 6, and now have a chance to make that 9 for 9.
This is really where I thought he got himself going, because he came in 7 for 26 from behind the arc. He is their best pure shooter. He just hadn't shot it well. Louisville put him on the free throw line in the first half. And once he saw that ball going through the net, all of a sudden, for whatever reason, when a shooter sees that happen, even if it's from the free throw line, comes off your hands a little bit easier.
15 of 16 are the Friars from the free throw line, as they could do no wrong. And that's just a great example. Bryce Cotton finally misses a free throw. Kadeem Batts tips it in. It's all going right for Providence, Doris.
Yeah, they're going to credit Batts, but I think it might have been Keurig who tipped this thing in. This is like scoring on your own goal in soccer here. They're going to credit Batts, and Batts acts like he does it, but it's actually a lot of Keurig.
In your wildest dreams, could you ever expected this?
No, Ryan, come on. We were talking to Ed Cooley at the half, and he was so concerned, pregame, he was so concerned about the lack of ball handling he had against a Louisville team that's leading the league in field goal percentage, has been in the nation's top, 25 in steals per game.
And now it's Louisville turning over the basketball. That's their 8th. And Providence with a chance to go up 30 on the 15th ranked Cardinals. And confidence is a crazy thing, and Providence has it now. Vincent Council working his way towards a triple-double. 12 points, 9 assists, and 7 rebounds. Providence 0-4, Doris, in the Big East with a 30-point lead on Louisville.
Well, do you remember when we had Jeff Van Gundy on for that little segment? I was asking him, it seems absurd for me to say that Ed Cooley has done a magnificent job coaching, being 0-4 in the Big East. They played Syracuse. You touched on how well they played. Andy Katz touched on it at the half of this basketball game. Jim Boeheim said, we had been able to stop everybody. And offensively, there were points where we couldn't stop Providence. Georgetown, John Thompson III. They guarded Georgetown as well as I've seen anybody guard that Princeton offense. So their game plans have been outstanding. It's why Jeff Van Gundy said you can't always evaluate a coach based on wins and losses. Are you maximizing your talent? Do your guys buy into what you're trying to do? Do they play hard? The answer to every one of those questions is an emphatic yes for Ed Cooley.
And brighter days are on their way besides this, as Providence has one of their great recruiting classes in the college's history on its way next year for Ed Cooley.
I would say they've got number 9 recruiting class based on ESPN.com. They have got tremendous guards coming in. Ricky Lito is a local Providence product. Chris Dunn is an outstanding guard, a combo guard out of New London, Connecticut, who Louisville desperately wanted to have. And Josh Fortune rounds out that group. And I'll tell you this, it reminds me of a class that Rick Barnes had way back when Providence ended up winning its only Big East championship it's ever had. And that was the Dickie Simpkins class. Dickie Simpkins, Rob Phelps, and it was a bigger number than this particular class, but similar infusion of talent.
16 for Batts. He also has 10 rebounds. getting a great crop of freshmen next year for a team that does not have a senior on the ball club. Nunez. Louisville today can't throw in the ocean. Providence and Council to bounce again.
You know what? Rick Pitino's kneeling at the sideline, and he literally, as they came up the floor, just looked at the clock. And it's not often he's in a position to sit there and go, boy, how much longer do I have to endure this basketball game?
Smith will pick up the foul. He'll head to the line. And Vincent Council just operating on all cylinders now. One of the elite passers in the country. Check out the no-look goals.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he saw Batts, and he wanted to make sure Batts saw him. So he looked at him initially and then hooked the defender off by looking left and waited. But honest to God, it was almost unspoken communication. He looked at Batts as if to say, you fill that lane and run hard.
So 2 Friars now with double-doubles, Batts and Council. Council with the 12 points, 10 assists. He also has 7 rebounds, so 3 rebounds shy of a triple-double. Smith makes a pair. He has 12. Lead at 31 with under 9 to play.
Local product, Ed Cooley. I'm not sure how many people would say that their dream job was a Providence College head coaching job, but this guy, a local product, played at Central High School, 2-time high school player of the year here in the state. This was his dream job.
Coach Cooley turned around Fairfield, 25 wins last year. And anyone you talk to, and I mean anyone, you bring up the name Ed Cooley. Andy Katz wrote a great article on ESPN.com, and it just nobody has anything but great things to say about this man.
At Providence College, your head coach's brand is as important as the college's brand, and his ability to touch members of the community as important as his recruiting and coaching ability. And he's got the personality to be successful. And I'll say this, when you meet him, he's got a great smile. He's interested in these guys as people as much as players, and that bodes well in living rooms to get to them.
Louisville showing a little heart here on the full court pressure. And on that note, you talk about a Providence team last year that defensively was one of the worst teams in the entire nation. They are by the conference. Not going to get one tonight.
I wouldn't want to be on the plane home, I'll tell you that. More in practice tomorrow.
Worst conference loss came February 12, 2009 on the road at Notre Dame, a 90-57 defeat. Kurek, and we have not mentioned his name hardly at all, is Ed Cooley quick to call a timeout there. Still an extremely comfortable lead, but he's not going to let his guys just mail this the last 7:45 indoors.
Well, I mean, this is all about you don't ever stop playing, and you're, especially a team like Providence, you're 0-4. He's sitting there saying, guys, we got 7:45 left. Who do we think we are here? Let's finish this. You don't start breaking down defensively. You have not allowed Kurek to breathe all game long, and you're going to give him an open shot. See, he's not worried about the score. He's worried about establishing standards.
Team that suffered their worst loss at Notre Dame went on to finish the year 31-6. So, you know, Coach Pitino, one of the all-time Hall of Fame legends of this game, will somehow spin this in a positive direction.
Yeah, you know guys, Gordon Zhang had 3 straight double-double games, and he was still calling for more. So I don't necessarily think he felt like, even when they were rolling, that this team was playing as well as they could. But now it looks like he's got a confidence issue he's got to deal with.
Council once again getting easy shots for his teammates. Shot clock to 5. What else? Well, Dante Hunton, he's got 14, the freshman knocking down a triple.
Well, the Big East has been a bit schizophrenic, right? We think about a Cincinnati team that's been tremendous, and then St. John's goes to Cincinnati and beats them. And you can say this. You can ask the question, who's the second best team in the Big East? And you might get many different answers if you ask that question, right? Syracuse is far and away the best team. Who's next? Seton Hall, Cincinnati?
UConn, of course, has the pedigree of last year's national title, but they had a couple weird losses. But life on the road in the Big East, it's just, I don't care who you're playing in the Big East, if it's not in your gym, you can easily lose.
Yeah, and I also think every team has got to stretch. Wow. I think they're going to get this on the body, maybe council.
And Bats came out of nowhere to block the shot. The block looked clean to us.
No, so it's Dixon. Bilal Dixon. Pitino and his wife, Jillian, used to call their town of Providence Camelot. This has not been Camelot for Coach.
Well, this is one that, boy, oh boy. Even those that thought Louisville would struggle this year and didn't think they had the talent to maybe finish third in the league like the coaches had predicted, never saw a performance like this coming.
And really, Ryan, when you think about where they were voted preseason last year, they exceeded expectations. And Preston Knowles, by virtue of his will now, you know, helped them win a ton of games last year.
And Louisville continues to sit in that 2-3 zone, which is perfectly fine with Providence. We're under 6 to play. Dunkin' Donuts Center, Providence, Rhode Island, as the Friars up 74-48, putting down the hammer on 15th ranked Louisville. I've been impressed with Bats. He's been, for a team that hasn't had a whole lot of offensive play this season, he's obviously having a monster game with 20 points and the 10 rebounds, but he is a physical presence.
Well, you know, imagine if that guy had the first semester, okay, because he's long, he's athletic, he gives you somebody. Now, he's not great offensively, but at least he gives you somebody to enter the ball into the post through. And he's not even got his game rhythm and all this timing down. I mean, that'll come every day, but if you're Ed Cooley, boy, I'll tell you, you probably want to string him a little bit in the first, for the first semester breakdown, your inability to live up to your responsibilities as a student athlete. You've got to be frustrated that you didn't have them then.
He has a career high 20 points this evening. And Coach Pitino, obviously at this point, I think it's safe to assume, sending a message to his sophomore Russ Smith.
Yeah.
Second leading scorer on the team, had 30 against Kentucky. Played very limited minutes in this one. Alicia Justice into the game for the Cardinals, gets the steal. And the pressure has given Providence some problems today. It's just anytime they were able to not turn the ball over, it seemed in the first half, they were able to make a shot. And Coach Pitino now going over to talk to Russ Smith and clearly send him a message.
No, there's no doubt about that. Because we're not getting any information from Kenny Klein, their sports information director, that there's any injury or that something we maybe missed on camera happened.
It's a teaching moment as he continues to kneel on one knee next to Russ Smith and try to get a point across.
Now, he might look calm, but I had lunch with all those 87 Friars, and they were talking about Coach Pitino, like we'd catch him on camera and he'd be smiling as the players came off, but his message wasn't very pleasant all the time. He just made it look like it was.
And he's continuing to give Russ Smith an earful over on the Louisville bench. And Bats will continue to work on that career high. Got 20, looking for 2 more. Well, life in the Big East, Doris, for Providence. They will not have a whole lot of time to enjoy Ed Cooley, that is, his first victory in Big East play. Back out on the road. They'll be 1-4 and head to #1 Syracuse, who they had within a 2-point game at the half here at the Dunk. But the Orange have been extremely impressive thus far.
Little different challenge at the Carrier Dome, no doubt.
College Hoops continues on ESPN. Thursday night showcase doubleheader, first at 7. Big Ten showdown between Wisconsin and Purdue. And then how about Mike Scott and Virginia taking on Mason Plumlee and Duke. Mike Scott, one of the great stories in college basketball this season. Virginia playing their best basketball in a long time.
You know what? You know that Duke and North Carolina are the 2 best teams far and away in the ACC. I thought last weekend maybe the most important game on the docket of that weekend in the early ACC schedule was Miami, Virginia, because I thought that might answer the question, who's the 3rd best team in the league? Virginia won that game, and now you've got an opportunity to test yourself against, you know, a Duke team that's bounced back beautifully against Georgia Tech after the upset by Temple. I think it's been quite some time since Coach Krzyzewski has lost back-to-back games.
I want to say it was Hubert Davis that on one of the broadcasts said he thought Mike Scott should be considered player of the year thus far in the ACC. Not a player from North Carolina or Duke, which raised some eyebrows, but Virginia's been one of the good stories in the ACC, certainly Seton Hall in the Big East.
Number 15, Tim Henderson, checking into the Cardinal lineup, replacing Chris Smith.
The East has been so interesting, though. You think about Pittsburgh and Villanova, who have been mainstays not only in the top half of the Big East, but in the Sweet 16. Both got off to 0-3 starts in conference play.
It's extraordinary. They lull you to sleep with their success. And you think about it, most teams have a year or 2 where there's a dip. Certainly Villanova's had that. In Jamie Dixon's tenure, this is as low as they've ever. I mean, they have been so remarkably consistently good.
And another turnover for Louisville. Down by 27 to Providence, but all Friars here tonight. Thanks a lot, Kevin and Doris. You'll be on your way to Boston after tonight's game to go a little double duty. College tonight, NBA tomorrow. The world champion Mavericks taking on the Celtics.
Yeah, I don't think either team has gotten off to the start that they kind of expected. Is there a little championship hangover for the Mavs? And what a crazy schedule in the NBA, really testing these guys and their legs. I think it's led to some tough-looking basketball at times early.
Bats continues to just play the best game of his career, Doris. Double-double, career high. He'll head to the line here for a 3-point play. He's got 24. Cotton with 27.
Yeah, and you can see, you know, I'm not sure what Louisville's doing defensively. I mean, Buckles isn't even attached to him at all. The passes, there's no pressure on the pass. And, you know, what you have to wonder now is how does Rick Pitino regroup this team? We always talk about it. This is a guy who I don't think has ever had a team underachieve. He gets his players playing so hard that they always overachieve. But to me, this team, from the outset, it might be because of the 2 tough losses to Georgetown and Notre Dame at home, where your confidence is shaky, you don't feel very good, things don't go well for you early, and it's now snowballed on you.
Well, they do head back home and get to Paul on Saturday. But they've lost 2 home games already at the Center, and that was kind of Coach Pitino's point this morning. We've given up 2 at home. Now we have to go make up for that and win some on the road. Thought they could do that tonight. Not going to happen.
I referenced this before. Rick Bozich, the columnist for the Louisville Courier-Journal, said it's not quite time to push the panic button. But I'd say you're pretty close now. What is that thing we have at ESPN? The panic meter,
yeah,
1 to 10.
Panic meter. Well, you think, if I were to tell you that Pittsburgh 0-3, Villanova 1-3, and now Louisville 1-3 in the Big East, you just wouldn't believe me.
No.
Those are three teams that judge their seasons not by wins and losses, but whether they make it to the Elite Eight. The Big East will be changing. We were talking about who's the third best team in the ACC. Well, we'll be getting two teams from the Big East. And get a look at Coach Pitino. He was pretty outspoken about Syracuse and Pittsburgh leaving the Big East.
I think you think about the changing landscape of college athletics, and I'll tell you the guy I think has managed it as well as anybody, and that's Jim Delaney from the Big Ten. I mean, he's a North Carolina graduate, but he's been the Big Ten commissioner for a long time now. He's been brilliant. You know, he's expanded when he needed to. He's now formed that alliance with the Pac-12, which I just think is just such great forward thinking. And the one thing that's very difficult to come by is vision, understanding the times within which you're operating, and Jim Delaney gets it.
Doris Providence came into this one 0-4 in the Big East, kind of searching for an identity. What kind of team would they be coming off of the last couple of years where they were the worst team defensively in the Big East? They're playing better defense, but tonight, every possible number is just completely off the chain.
Yeah, and again, I mean, you put the Venerable on pregame with Ed Cooley and you and I, and he was just so concerned. He knew his guys were playing hard. He said, listen, I can't ask for more from my guys in terms of their effort, but I'm down a ball handler against a team that leads the Big East in field goal percentage defense and is notorious for being effective with their pressure. And they just couldn't have gone any better.
They got out to that good start with the freshman, Dante Hinton, made the first 4 shots of the game. He was 4 for 4. They did have trouble with that Louisville pressure, but they continued to make shots. And then Pitino picked up the technical foul. Bryce Cotton went to the foul line. As you said, he got comfortable. And Kadeem Batts just continues to, he has 27. Cotton has 27. 4 Providence players in double figures, 27, 14 for Hinton and Council, 13 assists for Council.
Replacing Kadeem Batts.
And Batts gets a standing ovation, a well-deserved standing O from the crowd here at the dunk.
I absolutely love how hard that kid has played. It's been a blowout, but Henderson has done nothing but play hard.
A 20th anniversary tonight of the 87 team that went to the Final Four. The NCAA has named 6 former student athletes as recipients of the Silver Anniversary Award, which annually recognizes distinguished individuals the 20th anniversary of the conclusion of their college careers. And Doris, you're on that list as we take a look. Congratulations to you. It doesn't get much better than that.
Thank you. I feel completely out of my league with the people on that list. You guys just took me by surprise. Thank you very much.
Tim Brown, Kevin Johnson, Sean Payton, David Robb, just some great names that you were certainly in the same class as. And congratulations. That is a serious honor, my friend. Walk-ons are on for Providence as we approach a minute to play. And nobody cheers for the walk-ons quite like the crowd and the guys on the bench as this one has turned into a laugher. Let's say congratulations to Ed Cooley as as he gets the first of what will be many wins in the Big East Conference at Providence. As we said, great recruiting class coming in. Not a senior on the team, Doris.
Yeah, he's done an extraordinary job. You couldn't evaluate him on the 0-4. Just listen to what the other Big East coaches that have faced him in those first 4 games have said about the changes that they've seen from this particular group.
Louisville, 1-3 in the Big East. Time for Rick Pitino to rebuild and make that charge as we move into February. 90-59 will be the final. Providence getting its first Big East victory of the season. Congratulations to Ed Cooley, as he gets a monster game from Kadeem Batts and Bryce Cotton, 27 points apiece. For Louisville, 1-3 in the Big East. Next up for Providence, they get number 1 Syracuse. Once again, your final score 90-59. Coming up next year on ESPN2, NBA Coast to Coast. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Doris Burke, I'm Ryan Burr. Good night from Providence, Rhode Island.